Welcome to the Financial Coaches Podcast, where we talk about how to build your practice from startup to scale up while being the kind of coach your clients crave. Finally, a podcast for financial coaches. Here are your hosts, Maria Casillas and Cody Sizemore.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Financial Coaches Podcast. I'm Maria Casillas, joined here by my incredible co-host, Cody Sizemore. And we are here today to add a little bit of an addendum to our last episode. I know that we had a really solid conversation about tax returns and how do we kind of help our clients navigate those things. But we wanted to, once we hung up, we thought, you know what? I think this will be something fun to do a little challenge for our listeners. I don't think we've done this. And if we have, it's been a really long time. Actually, there was one time we did a pretty decent challenge, but it's been a long time. So I think it's time to bring that back. And this is actually Cody's idea, which I absolutely love. It's one of the things that he has used this technique and it has done a lot of really great things for him and his business. And so we think it's about time that we call this out and have everybody else do this as well. So Cody, I'm going to pass the baton over to you and just ask you, I know I said it was an addendum. I didn't mean that. It's just an add-on to our last episode. And it's really not about our clients per se, and how we help them with their tax returns, but it does have to do with tax season. So I'm going to ask you to share with us, what do you got in mind for this?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a fusion of what we spoke about in the last episode being tax returns, but then even previous episodes about like different posting strategies and how to talk to people, indirect messages, and how to take advantage of the engagement that is put onto your posts and everything like that, right? So you listen to this episode, and if you feel like you need a little bit of a refresher on the social media strategies or on the conversations that you're going to be having in the direct messages, you're welcome to do a quick search through our site or through whatever platform you're listening to this on, and get a refresher on those as well. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to not just talk about something all the time, but to instead actually invite the listeners to actually take action and do something about it, but then also hear about how it went as well. So this might be a little bit of a shorter episode. I'm not exactly sure how long this is going to take, but if it's cool with you, I think that I just want to like do a brain dump and just kind of lay everything out for what's kind of in my head.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. All right. So given that it's tax return season, there is a posting strategy that I have found works really, really well for, drumming up engagement, but then also for drumming up potential new conversations to have. And as you know, the more conversations that you have, the more potential consultations you'll have, and the more potential consultations you'll have, the more potential clients you'll have as well.
Mm-hmm.
So one posting strategy that I have found works really, really well would just be simply asking questions. So we actually did an episode way back in the day around a question that I asked, which was like, hey, if you received a $5,000 bonus, what's the first thing that you would do with this? Right. And we went through and we're like, yeah, like it got like 100 comments and like all this kinds of stuff. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be very similar to that, but has to do with the current things that people are dealing with or experiencing, which at this time of year would be tax returns.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to challenge all the listeners, which if you're listening to this today, that means that you're someone who's wanting to learn and grow your business and through your business. So you literally don't have a reason not to do this. Like you're listening to the show now, so just take a few minutes and do this. It's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
But hop onto any platform that you feel like you're comfortable with. This could be your personal Facebook, which if you do Facebook, I'm going to suggest that you should make this post on your personal Facebook and not your business Facebook. We've gone through that as well. I'm not going to get into it, but the business Facebook does nothing for you. So do your personal Facebook. This could be something through Instagram. You could do, TikTok, whatever platform that you feel is best for you is where I want you to put this. And the question that I want you to post would be this: what is the first thing that you're going to do with your tax return? Question mark, little thinking guy emoji. Okay. And capitalize the word first and capitalize the word tax return and post it. Okay. People are excited about their tax returns, and they're also excited to share, like, hey, this is what I'm going to do, So it's a really good way to kind of like tap into that excitement. And with that excitement, people are going to be commenting on your posts. And, there might be some people who are like, I'm going to Disney World, or, they might say something like, I'm going to fix my car. Um, but then, you'll also probably see some people who are going to say, like, I'm going to put it towards my credit cards, or, I'm going to fix this thing in my house, or I'm going to put it all into savings, or whatever it might be. Right. So agenda item number 1 is make the post. Agenda item number 2 would be, I want you to respond in the comments to every single comment. So it could be something as simple as like nice, exclamation point, or it could be something a little bit more thoughtful. I don't care. But what I want you to do is I want you to respond to every single comment. And the reason for that is because that's how the algorithm works. The more comments there are, the more engagement there is, the more conversation there is, the more that platform will then push that out to more people to see, because they see this as a post that's keeping people on their platform. So respond to every single comment. That is agenda item number 2. Then, whether it be directly after you respond to that comment, whether it be a little bit later that day, or whether it be the next day, I wouldn't wait any longer than that. I then want you to sift through those comments, and any of the people who comment something that you feel would pertain to you and how you can, serve them in certain ways, I want you to message them through the direct messages. So if you see something that's like, I'm going to put it into savings, message that person. If you see someone that says, hey, I'm trying to pay down my credit cards, message that person. You know who you serve, so you'll know who to message. That's just an example. That is agenda item number 3, is to message them. And with those messages, I want you to just open it up with just being like, hey, so-and-so, got a quick question when you get a second. That's your first message. That's it. And then just leave it. You're knocking on their door. Okay. You don't want to be barging into their house. You just want to knock on their door. Got a quick question when you get a second. When they respond, they'll say, yeah, what's up? Then you can say something along the lines of like, I saw your comment on my post about the tax returns, and it really stood out to me because of XYZ. So for example, if it was someone saying they want to pay off credit cards, you could say, it really stood out to me because, I saw that you're trying to pay off your credit cards, and I think that's amazing. I love when people are trying to be so proactive about that. And then follow up with a question. So you acknowledge them, you follow up with a question. Is this something you've been trying to do for a while now, or is it something that you just got started with? Right? That you're starting to tackle recently, right? So then you start the conversation, and then you just kind of play that game of like, ask them a question, they'll give you an answer, you acknowledge it, you ask them another question, they'll give you an answer, you acknowledge it, you ask them another question, until eventually you get to the point to where you can feel comfortable asking them, hey, is it something that you want some help with? And if so, we can set up a time, right? Again, there's a more detailed breakdown on how to navigate those conversations in our previous episodes. You can do a search, direct messages, FORO would be one, FORO, stuff like that, right? So that's that agenda piece. And then the fourth agenda, which is kind of going off of what I just said, is to book calls with people and see how many you get, right? And then you can take the reins from there. But this is the challenge that I want to do. And I want to, when we post this episode, I'm going to make a post in our Facebook group, which is, if you're not in it, you definitely want to make sure that you are in it so that you can be a part of this challenge, which is the financial coaches community by New Money Habits. I'm gonna make a post in there that says something along the lines of like tax return engagement question posts results, something like that. And probably the following Monday that this is released, I'd want you to put in how many comments you had on your post, how many people that you reached out to in the direct messages, and how many people signed up for calls. That way we can kind of see these results and we can kind of hold each other accountable to it as well. And hopefully it becomes something very fruitful.
Yeah,
So I just
that's
did a big
beautiful.
brain dump. I'm gonna stop
Yeah.
talking. Maria?
I think I love how you laid it out. I am now I don't want to add a layer that is unnecessary, but I'm going
Hmm.
to ask this anyway.
Okay.
So it's kind of a statement and then followed up by a question. The statement is that there are going to be many people who are not getting a tax return. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
and might even be a little bit salty about that.
Yep.
They may comment on your post as well.
And it's
So
great if they do.
yes, I know. And so I'm wondering, do you have some sort of wording that you've used well that sort of draws out from those people the the pieces that would indicate that they could use your help as well? And the follow-up to that is, would you consider or would you suggest doing a second sort of post that actually speaks directly to the people who are either not getting anything and or more importantly, those who are having to pay in and are wondering where to find the money for that?
Yeah, yeah. So it's great questions. Great questions. Um, you will have those people comment on your post, which is a good thing because it just means more engagement, which means that it's going to be pushed out to more people, right?
Yep.
So a question or a response that you could say to those people is you could say, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. What's your plan with dealing with that?"
Hmm.
Because they might not have a plan,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? They might not have a plan to fix this moving forward so that they don't owe, and they might not have a plan to even pay it as well. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people that have put, you know, tax tax debts or tax bills on a credit card. And I'm like, why are you freaking out and putting on a credit card and getting charged 30% interest? Just work up a payment plan with the IRS. They're easy to work with. They're not going to charge you 30% interest, you know?
Hmm.
But a
Hmm.
lot of people don't even know that that's an option. They get so scared
Yeah.
because they see those three letters and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I need to get this paid off or else I'm going to go to jail."
Hmm.
And that's like a legitimate thing, right?
Yeah.
So I would
Yeah.
just
They're
ask them that,
operating
like,
out of fear.
acknowledge it. "Hey, I'm sorry that happened." And then ask the question, "Well, what's your plan with dealing with that?"
Hmm.
Right? Or
Perfect.
do you need help dealing with that kind of
Yep.
thing?
Okay, great. So I like that as a response to the people who just comment on your post, your original
Mhm.
post about the how are you going to spend your refund. And it just brings to the second question: do you suggest doing a different sort of post as well for the other people that it is directly stated towards them?
I'm never gonna say no to more
Okay.
posting. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, totally. And maybe you can kind of play it off of what I just said. You could say like, who here owes on their taxes this year with like, that laughing, like, sweating emoji kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and it could just be simple as that. Like who here owes on their taxes this year?
Yeah.
Ugh,
And I'll I'll bet
like
you'll get some real conversations going there.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
And then just copy and paste the whole like, every comment, respond to it.
mhm.
If it makes sense to reach out, then reach out, copy paste that whole thing.
Yep.
But yeah, I
Yep.
mean, you do both posts for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe do one day and then wait a day into the other kind of thing.
Yeah. I really like the idea of doing both and separating that out because it's still very relevant for people because the timing is not going to be that time tax time is not going to be over in 2 days. But it also gives you the other perspective and gives you practice being able to talk that through with others as well.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So if you're up for the challenge, I'll do a quick recap of what this is, and then we'll probably wrap up this episode. So essentially, step one is make the post, asking the question. Step two would be to respond to every comment on the post.
Not just react, respond.
Not just react, but to respond to every comment on the post. Step number three is to reach out to any of the comments that you feel might be someone that you could serve in some way, shape, or form. Knock on their door with that question, and then start the conversation. Ask question, acknowledge what they say, ask another question. And the goal is to get slowly but surely a little bit closer to you asking the ultimate question, which would be step number 4, is to invite people onto a consultation with you. Those are the 4 steps. And then we can track, that data as far as like how many comments, how many conversations, and how many calls were set up in the Facebook group. And we can have fun with that. And I think that like, if you haven't done something like this before, you might be surprised as to what kind of results that you might get. However, I do want to throw a disclaimer. You might do this and you might not see anything come from it. And if that's the case, that's totally okay.
Mm-hmm.
Totally okay. At least you did it. At least you tried it.
That's right. And I don't believe that any effort is wasted effort as long as you learn from it. So even if you don't get any results from it, as I mentioned just a couple minutes ago, it will give you the opportunity to practice that, the speak around how this works, the ability to ask questions. It'll kind of give you some practice around the timidity of like knocking on their door, for example, and wondering what that's going to be, inviting that conversation. So yeah, use this as an opportunity to practice your skills, even if you don't get direct results from it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, have fun. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us through the Facebook group, whatever you need to do. But have fun with this. That's the most important thing. Don't overthink it. Don't be too eager. Don't turn people off. Just talk to people as they're humans and be natural, and things will start to come to fruition for you guys. So have fun with it. I'm eager to see what kind of comes from this. And we'll talk more about this on our next episode, potentially, of the Financial Coaches Podcast, which will be airing next Monday. So we hope to see you then as well. Thanks, guys.
See you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Financial Coaches Podcast, brought to you by New Money Habits and Sizemore Financial Coaching. Submit your questions to our hosts by emailing podcast@newmoneyhabits.com. Be sure to subscribe to be notified of future episodes and join our growing group of like-minded coaches on Facebook. And until next time, happy coaching.